Aha.
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 Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am in Reno, Nevada today. Why am I in Reno? Because I'm gonna try a brand new airline. Yes, something new. There's a new airline that just started here in Reno called AHA Airlines, and I'll be taking a flight on an Embraer 145 up to Eugene today. So come along with me. AHA stands for Air, Hotel, and Adventure. And this being Reno, I'll start off with my hotel, then take you on an adventure in the air. How does that sound for this video? Well, before my AHA Air adventure, I spent a few nights at the Peppermill Resort Hotel, and I loved it. The hotel is bright, clean, and even has spaces with a Tuscan theme. If you're in Reno, this is the place to be. This was actually my third stay at this hotel, but as consistent as I am, I'm about to try something new. AHA Airlines, America's newest airline, and it's based right here out of Reno. I'm going to take a flight on one of their jets to one of their newest destinations, so let's hop into a cab as we head to the Reno-Taho International Airport. Well, here it is, AHA Airlines, Reno, Nevada's newest airline. I'm about to fly on an Embraer 145. I'm very excited about this. AHA has arrived in Reno, and I am here for my AHA moment, since this is the first non-SkyTeam flight I have taken in years. Just like the other carriers at Reno, AHA has their own dedicated check-in area, and it's between Swiftair and Delta. At the time of my arrival, there were just 2 flights departing that morning on AHA. The check-in area for AHA, as well as the other carriers, was rather quiet as there was a lull in departing flights. Getting ready to check in here at AHA. I needed to drop off a bag and get a printed boarding pass. Since this is a brand new airline, the check-in agents were still being trained with supervisors standing behind them, helping them talk to customers. My destination, Eugene, is one of their newer destinations, and I'm on the 3rd ever flight on this route. Eugene.
So you see that you prepaid?
Yes, I prepaid for this, yeah. Okay, good. You guys don't use pre-check, right?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
okay, thank you.
They're figuring out a way to fly.
Yeah, starting up, so okay, thank you. I paid $30 for my one-check bag and made my way on over to TSA. This is the first time in years that I won't be using pre-check. The airline terminal in Reno is on the older side. What you see here was built in 1979. Here's a quick glimpse at my plane, still painted in ExpressJet colors, before I go through TSA. Alright, well, I just completed TSA here at RNO. AHA Airlines does not participate in the pre-check program. I got very used to pre-check over the years, but it was a very, very quick experience using the regular TSA line here. I'm excited that I'm going to fly on AHA today. Now, even though this is a brand new airline, the airline actually does have quite a long history. I'm actually part of that history. The airline has the ATC call sign of AC, using the 3-letter code of ASQ. Why? Because this airplane comes from ExpressJet Airlines, and I've flown on ExpressJet many, many times in the past. ExpressJet started flights in 1987, providing service for many major carriers until it all ended in 2020. But just a few weeks ago, ExpressJet launched the brand AHA. The aircraft here hasn't yet been painted in the AHA colors, but I'm pretty sure it'll sport one soon. AHA had 2 planes at the terminal the morning of my trip, and only one was painted in AHA colors. What I love about ExpressJet is the fact that they operated Embraer 145s, and they still are today. That means that I get a single seat on the left-hand side of the airplane. Really looking forward to that. The plane here is headed to Redmond. It would have been nice to fly on the 145 that's already been painted in AHA's colors, but I'll have to settle for this one, November 844 Hotel Kilo, a 17-year-old aircraft. And by the way, if you haven't visited Reno, Check it out. It's a great city. Much more low-key than Vegas, but there's a lot to do here and the scenery is beautiful. That's actually just the image behind me though. Seriously, this is a beautiful part of the country. If you have not made it out here, I highly suggest you do so. I love it. I want to ask you a question. Have any of you flown on AHA Airlines yet? I know it's a brand new airline, but I'm curious to get what your feedback is. I actually have no idea what the meal service is going to be on this flight, if there's any, or drink service, so I'm going to stop by Verde Market to get something to eat first. Verde Market is a quick and easy place to pick up some food, and I stop here before every flight I take from Reno. There are also other options, including a full-service restaurant, but I want to get to my gate sooner rather than later because I'm very excited. AHA Airlines surely does not have any lounge. As a matter of fact, I don't think any airlines have a lounge here. This is not really a major hub for any airline, although AHA is based here. So I just decided to go to Verde Market and get a little bagel and lox sandwich before my flight today. Okay, time to head to the gate area. AHA uses two gates at Reno, B2 and B4, the first two gates on the left side of the B concourse. With two Embraer 145s departing this morning, it was nice to get some great views of them. With over 1,200 Embraer 145s built, this aircraft serves the short-haul market perfectly. Powered by two rear-mounted AE 3007 Rolls-Royce turbofan engines, they have a range of around 2,000 miles. The Embraer 145 first went into service in 1997, and there's even a business jet version called the Embraer Legacy 600. In the airline version, in one-class economy configuration, the aircraft has 50 seats in a 1x2 layout. And my favorite feature? Large windows. The Embraer is a great-looking aircraft. Well, I'm excited. My Embraer 145 awaits behind this door. None of the AHA gates had displays indicating any flight information, but the General Flight Information Display System, or FIDS, provided gate and departure time information. It was a rather quiet time at Reno, and I took a few moments to walk around the concourse. Most of the gates had unobstructed views of the nearby mountains. If you watch my previous video where I flew into Reno, it was nighttime and I could not see much, and we actually had someone point a laser at my inbound flight and I captured it on film. Don't forget to check out that really chilling video. It's the video I posted before this one. Oh, and if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you're not subscribed, you're missing out on getting alerts each time I post something new. Highly detailed, unique perspectives on aviation is what this channel is all about, so think about hitting that red button below. I'm getting ready to fly on America's newest airline. Here's my boarding pass. Note the EV code for ExpressJet. Let's start boarding.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to AHA Flight 7062 with service to Eugene, powered by ExpressJet Airlines. My name is Priscilla, and I'll be your gate agent today. At AHA, your safety is always our top priority, which is why, in accordance with federal law and CDC guidelines, we require all guests 2 years and older to wear a face mask covering their nose and mouth at all times, except briefly when eating or drinking. Failure to comply with this mandate will result in denied boarding, could subject you to penalties under federal law. We appreciate you for helping to keep us all safe. Please take a moment to review your carry-on items prior to boarding. As a reminder, passengers are limited to one personal item. This personal item must fit in the overhead bin or underneath the seat in front of you. Prior to boarding, you need to weigh all personal items. If you have a key checker or a lead bag that should have already been weighed at the ticket counter when you board, please place your bag on the scale provided as you present your boarding pass. If you have any questions, I would be happy to assist. On behalf of AHA, we thank you for flying with us today and hope you have a pleasant flight. I would like to invite all passengers and all rows on flight 7062 to board at this time. After weighing my carry-ons, I boarded. With a low load factor, they let me bring 2 bags on board, and I was flattered by what the very friendly flight attendant told me as she provided a sanitizing wipe.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I was totally talking about your dapper shirt in there.
Oh, thank you.
You're so adorbs.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
How nice. And how nice it is to be on an Embraer 145. I'm booked in row 11, seat A. There are only 10 passengers on this flight, so instead of boarding from the rear forward, everyone boarded at once. I guess you really don't need a process with only 20% of the seats filled. Well, I'm on the Embraer 145. This is a really neat aircraft. I love the single seat. Even though I had a single seat, it almost didn't matter since no one sat within a few rows of me. It's been a couple of years since I've been on this type of aircraft. I'm so loving it. Whether full or nearly empty, the Embraer 145 feels like a private jet. And like I mentioned before, this type also does come in a business jet version. The interior is clearly the interior of a jet that's been used before. It's not new or modern, but it does have a very special, cozy feeling. Today I'm seated in row 11. It's a standard economy seat. Well, there's only economy on this aircraft. The row behind me does have a little bit of extra legroom. It's the exit row, but I just wanted to fly in a regular seat today. I'm happy. This aircraft still has the ExpressJet branding on it. Eventually, I'm sure it'll say AHA. And as you know from my multiple videos, I love large windows. The Embraer 145 is the best. The boarding process was really easy. They first called up people who needed additional assistance, then members of the military, and then everybody. I was about the third person on board today. And the flight attendant is super sweet. She actually told me that she was talking to other people about my shirt. Just a bunch of dots, but she liked it, so I'm happy. The only thing that may slow things down a bit is the fact that they do weigh every bag. I have 2 bags. I've got a bag in the overhead bin over there, as well as a laptop bag below. That did take a little bit of time, but this aircraft is not going to be full today. As the name of the airline indicates, I think I'm in for a great adventure. The seats were well padded, and I found them to be comfortable. And they all come with a button for recline, although I'm not sure mine reclined due to the exit row behind me, but I didn't even try it. There's room for under-seat storage, and each seat has a tray table and a literature holder. The windows are very well aligned, affording great views for everyone. Overhead bin space is only over the C and D seats, and it's very tight, but I managed to get my backpack in. Doesn't get much better than having a single seat, an aisle, and a window.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard AHA Airlines powered by ExpressJet. Today's flight is 7062, departing for Eugene. Thank you for flying with us today. As you're finding your seat, remember to stow all personal items underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. You may use your small, lightweight devices such as mobile phones, tablets, and e-readers while we are parked at the gate. Larger devices, such as laptops, may be used until we are ready to depart. At that time, we ask that you stow them either underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartment. I would also like to take a moment to remind everyone of the TSA guidelines, which require all customers to wear a face mask at all times while on board the aircraft and in the terminal. Failure to comply with this policy could result in an interruption of your travel plan. If you need a face mask, please press the flight attendant call button and I'd be happy to assist you.
Welcome aboard AHA, powered by ExpressJet, flight 7622 Eugene. Actually, once the video push back and once airborne, just about an hour there. The back collection trailer, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, the boarding door is now closed. U.S. regulations require all large personal electronic devices be stowed at this time. You may continue to use your small, lightweight devices. Please ensure that they are switched to airplane mode and the cellular service is turned off. These devices must be secured in a seat back, your pocket, or held. If it becomes necessary, the captain may require that all devices be turned off during the flight. Before the aircraft can move, everyone must be seated with seatbelts fastened. Please ensure your personal items and tray tables are stowed with the seatbacks upright and aisle armrests lower. For those sitting near a window, we ask that you open the window shade for takeoff. I would like to remind everyone of the TSA guidelines, which require all customers to wear a face mask while on board. We understand you may like to take this opportunity to consume food and beverage. We just ask that you place your mask back on once finished. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board.
Guys, I am loving this. Talking about social distancing, there's no one around me.
Currently, AC 7062 is ready to push up to 4.
AC 7062, real ground, push back your discretion.
For today's flight, I'm adding air traffic control communications at Reno. The pilot called the ground controller for pushback clearance from gate Bravo 4, and we were told to push back at our discretion onto the ramp. Our call sign is AC 7062. AC is the legacy call sign for ExpressJet. You might have noticed how when announcements were made, AHA was mentioned, and it was immediately followed by Powered by ExpressJet. AHA is the brand used by ExpressJet, and when air traffic controllers talk to the pilot, the AC call sign for ExpressJet is used. It would have been nice for them to say AHA on the radio, but the company name is ExpressJet, so AC it is. Once the tug is removed from the aircraft, we start up and ask Reno Ground Control for clearance to taxi to the runway. The engines are now being started. They're rear-mounted on this aircraft.
Ground AC 7062 is ready to taxi. We have a call.
AC 7062, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha.
Taxi Alpha AC 7062.
We're told by the ground controller to take taxiway Alpha to the runway. Taxiway Alpha is right outside of the terminal ramp area, and a left turn takes us toward the beginning of the runway we'll be using this morning. This being a rather quiet period at the Reno-Taho International Airport, our taxi to the runway was expeditious. There were no aircraft in our way, and the way the airport is laid out, it's a very direct path to the runway. In the cockpit, the pilots are completing their checklists to prepare for our takeoff and climb out, and in the cabin, I'm just enjoying looking at the airport from my seat. I'm so happy I'm able to look out the windows on both the port and starboard side of the plane today without having any passengers in my way. I feel like I'm on a private luxury jet. As we got closer to the runway after a quick and efficient taxi, the ground controller told us to contact the tower controller who's in control of the airport's runways.
AC 7062, contact tower.
As we held short of the runway, we advised the tower controller that we were ready for departure. The controller came back right away and told us that we were cleared for takeoff and provided some information about another aircraft that was south of the airport, the airspace that we'll be climbing into.
Tower AC 7062 is ready for takeoff, 16 right.
AC 7062, Reno-Taho 10307, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
16 right, clear for takeoff, AC 7062.
AC 7062, traffic for Cessna 10 miles south of the airport on left downwind.
Roger.
There was no need for us to line up and wait this time as the runway was clear of other aircraft, so we turned the corner and we are off to Eugene on the 11,001 foot long runway 16 right. We're at an elevation of 4,415 feet above sea level, so a longer runway helps us become airborne as the air is less dense up here than at sea level. Our Rolls-Royce engines are powering this ExpressJet aircraft down the runway. I'm sitting in row 11 and it's great to hear the sound of the engines, but the further back you go on the Embraer 145, the louder the engine sounds.
Aha.
As we become airborne, the air traffic controller once again tells us about the traffic that he alerted us to before we took off. The traffic is now in our 11 o'clock position and 6 miles away at 7,700 feet. We'll be flying straight ahead and won't interfere with the traffic and are told to contact NorCal departure.
AC 7062, the traffic, previously called traffic, set your 11 o'clock 6 miles, 7,700, contact NorCal departure.
Contact departure AC 7062, good day.
NorCal Departure is the TRACON, or Terminal Radar Approach Control Facility, which handles lower altitude traffic in Northern California, as well as Reno, since it's so close to Northern California. Here we are contacting NorCal Departure.
NorCal AC 7062, 6,600 for flight level 190.
AC 7062, NorCal, first radar contact, climb unrestricted, maintain flight level 190.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 190, AC 7062.
We were initially assigned to climb to 19,000 feet, also known as flight level 190. We were also told that we had no restrictions on our climb to that altitude, so we'll be up there soon. The communities that we see here are the communities of Southeast Reno. Everything is looking good here. Our climb out was stable and smooth, and ATC is making sure that we're clear of that aircraft that was pointed out to us by the tower controller. We're still headed towards the south, which is away from Eugene in Oregon, so we need to be issued a turn by ATC. The controller eventually provides us with radar vectors to a 90-degree heading to go around some traffic.
AC 7062, flight heading 090, vectors for traffic, maintain flight level 190.
There's not a lot to see in our turns due to the cloud cover, but we are making our way on course. ATC then told us to turn left to a 300-degree heading and when able, proceed to the airspace fix of Wendell.
AC 7062, turn left, heading up 300, direct Wendell when able.
Left 300, direct to window, AC 7062.
This was followed by a handoff to the High Altitude Air Traffic Control Center, Oakland Center.
AC 7062, coming to Oakland Center, 128.8, good day.
128.8, AC 7062, good day.
After our takeoff to the south, we made a big left-hand turn to head towards the north, towards Eugene. The city of Reno is right down there, but I can't see it today due to the weather. As we neared our cruising altitude, inside the cabin, the lovely flight attendant provided a snack. I was able to select items from a basket and took the granola bar and graham cracker. I didn't know what to expect, but I was pleased at this offering. This was accompanied by a napkin with AHA branding. I like that. I tried some of the food during the only time I was allowed to lower my mask, mealtime. The flight attendant also came by with iced water that was already poured in the cup with AHA branding. Again, very nice touch. Here's to AHA. Nearly all of the flight occurred above the clouds, and I was disappointed because the route takes us right over Crater Lake, and it would have been amazing to see it from our cruising altitude of 30,000 feet. I've got a cool video on my channel from my visit to Crater Lake earlier this year. Since I can't see much outside, I decided to take a tour of the Embraer 145. I just could not believe how empty the plane was, but as a passenger, I loved it. AHA aims to bring the passenger to their destination in a point-to-point service model, and today, I guess there just weren't many people going from Reno to Eugene. I decided to take a trip to the Seoul Lavatory, which serves all passengers and crew. The lavatory is at the very back of the airplane. For a plane this small, the lavatory is quite spacious, as it runs the entire width of the plane. Other than its impressive size, there's nothing too special about it, and it's super noisy in there since the engines are right outside the sidewalls of the lav. It's time to head back to the main cabin for the remainder of the short flight. I even tried out another seat because, why not? We're now descending to Eugene. I love how I can just talk right into my camera on this flight. There's nobody near me at all. Eugene, here we come. As we descend, we approach the Eugene area from the southeast. I'm quite excited about getting below that cloud deck so I can get a glimpse of something on the ground. Despite the lack of any views for most of the flight, I really enjoyed the excellent service and corporate jet atmosphere of AHA. It's a great product.
Ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for landing, please make sure you are seated with your seatbelt fastened. Seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright lock positions and all carry-in items are stowed. I will be sure to get your last minute service items. If you have stuff you need to discard, pass it to the aisle, and I'll collect it.
Flights, whether they're in the airport, winds are light out of the southeast, 10 knots visibility. Just cloudy skies and temperature last reported is 54 degrees. We really appreciate joining us today, and we'll see you on the ground at the gate here in about 20 minutes by the time we back in the gate.
And I was finally able to catch some glimpses of the hills that are southeast of Eugene. Today, we'll be making an approach to runway 16 right, and controllers at the Cascade Approach Control Facility will have us fly directly over the city of Eugene, then make a left turn to the west, and then south to land on the runway. The city of Eugene is about 50 miles east of the Pacific Ocean and has a population of around 170,000 people. Eugene is named after Eugene Franklin Skinner, who was born in New York but headed west in the 1840s and founded Eugene City in 1851. Today it's just called Eugene and is known as the Emerald City and a great city for the arts and outdoors. The Eugene Airport is northwest of the city and is actually kind of hard to spot from the air, but I got excited when I was able to identify it. That's the airport right there. We're almost ready to land. I think I just had an aha moment.
Aha!
This airport really blends into the local scenery, but despite that, we're about to make a tight left turn to land on runway 16 right, so I'm pretty sure that the pilots have the field in sight as the Cascade approach controller clears us for the approach and hands us off to Eugene Tower. What beautiful fall colors here in central eastern Oregon today. AHA Airlines did a fine job, and I'm grateful that this Embraer 145 is leading me to this colorful and stunning approach to the EUG airport. One of the benefits of sitting on the left-hand side when you're in a left traffic pattern for landing is that you can see the runway before you touch down, and I kept my eye on runway 16 right, the parallel runway to runway 16 left, for as long as possible until we were fully lined up with the runway. We were only on a straight-in final for just a few miles, as this was a tight approach today. The runway has an elevation of 360 feet above sea level, which is considerably lower than Reno, so we're actually now a few thousand feet lower than we were when we took off from Reno's runway. By the way, does runway 16 right sound familiar to you? It's because it's the same runway designation of the runway we took off from in Reno. Both runways have similar compass headings of around 160 degrees, and both have a parallel runway labeled 16 left. We're about to touch down on the 8,009-foot-long runway 16 right. Braking was light and gentle on this Embraer 145, and we were able to clear the runway on taxiway Alpha 5 with plenty of runway left over. As we vacated the runway, the flight attendant made a welcome announcement as the airport ground controllers told us to taxi to the ramp.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eugene. The current local time is 12:12. We will be taxiing for a few moments, so please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until we arrive at the gate and the seatbelt light has been turned off. Be sure to check your seating area for your personal belongings and use caution when opening the overhead compartments, as items do tend to shift during flight. For those customers with carrying articles that were given to an agent while boarding this aircraft, the gate-checked items, they will be returned to you outside the airplane door. We do realize you have a choice in carriers, so thank you for choosing to fly with AHA Airlines, powered by ExpressJet, and we look forward to serving you once again on a future flight. You may now use your cell phone.
That was the final mention of AHA powered by ExpressJet for the flight today, but the plane was going to be going right back to Reno after this flight, so I'm sure it'll be mentioned again very soon. As we pulled into the terminal area, I realized that we would not be using a jet bridge today as we pulled into the parking area on the side of the terminal without a jet bridge. I love open-air deplaning. The deplaning process was really quick and easy, and I was the only passenger that had a bag stored in the overhead bin.
Got my bag. I'm here in Eugene. I'm happy.
Let me take you with me as I walk off the Embraer 145.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thanks for your business. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Yourself.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It was such a great feeling getting off a plane and being in the outdoors rather than just walking through an enclosed tunnel into a building. Despite the clouds, the weather was perfect, and I was able to walk near my AHA Embraer 145, still painted in ExpressJet colors. Great flight. If you ever spot November 844 Hotel Kilo out there, let me know if this has been repainted in the AHA colors. For only $40 base fare, $10 to select my seat, plus the cost of checking the bag, there was tremendous value on this flight. The service was great, food was offered, and look what the flight attendant handed me as I was deplaning. Nice touch. I can't remember the last time I was handed a candy when getting off a plane. I'm now on the lower level of the Eugene Airport terminal, headed towards baggage claim, and as I walk out, I pass by the boarding gate for this flight's return trip to its new home base of Reno, Nevada. I think all the passengers are going to be pleased with the service. As I left the secure area, I entered the public area of the terminal. Great experience on AHA Airlines. Time to claim my bag. The carousel was also being used for another flight that had arrived just before mine, so there were more people at baggage claim than my entire flight. That was the first crowd I experienced all day. Eugene is a growing airport with the addition of AHA to Reno and Avelo to Burbank. I took a look outside the terminal to see my Embraer 145 one last time and saw it was already boarding for the trip back to Reno. Well, welcome to Eugene, Oregon. I had a fantastic experience on AHA. I really enjoyed it. First off, I love flying on the Embraer 145. It is like flying on a private jet, and there were only 10 passengers on board. That's amazing. The flight attendant was absolutely fantastic. She was so sweet. I had a great conversation with her. It turns out that she actually flew for ExpressJet Airlines for the past 21 years, so she's got a lot of experience, and it shows. The flight was great. I loved everything about it. The food was good. I like the fact that they give a candy after deplaning. Really, really great time. If you have a chance, I say try AHA. Well, thanks so much for watching my video. I really enjoyed sharing my experience with you. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below because I've got a lot of great content for you in the aviation world. I provide very detailed and unique perspectives on different flights. Thank you so much for watching my video. I've got a lot more great content to come, so see you very soon.